So I have been waking up to stuff coming through the window, which is on the same wall as the sliding glass door, the bedroom window. And I had talked about in another video, the lightning bolt, where these little beings came in on the lightning bolt and gained access to my house. And I thought they were like, oh no, we're fairies, we're little gnomes and fairies. And it was like, no, you're not. I can see you, what you really are. You know, try to put a disguise on or shapeshift. So they access places through electricity. Of course, we have electricity going through all the walls and everything. So it's no wonder we're constantly trying to keep our space locked down, right? So anyway, I'm asleep. I've been putting the bubble around myself. It's a heavy duty bubble, let me tell you. If I'm an entity, I wouldn't want to mess with it. But I've been putting it around my bed and kind of my bedroom. And I heard this banging, bang, 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 and it sounded like a fist banging on like a glass storm door or something. Only it was coming from my left where the windows are. And I was like, so I'm half awake. I'm not waking up fully yet because I know something's up. And I'm like, they're banging on the bubble. I've had that happen one other time years ago. It was the first time I used a bubble, and because somebody had unleashed all this stuff in my house. And they woke me up at night. I thought somebody was beating on the front door, but it was, I don't know if I should say demonic anymore, but we'll say demonic, beating on the bubble. I guess there's people saying the word demon on here. I have to use the right context. This is all alleged, whatever, because I can't explain it. It's explained on the Odyssey video. Anyway, so I'm kind of half awake, but I'm staying in that state in between so that I can still see them. Because once you fully wake up, it's sometimes hard to see them, especially this type, because they can hide, but they show up like on a camera and stuff. Like, you know how you see orbs in a camera. Well, I saw this orb over my cat, and it was doing something to the cat, sucking the cat dry. And that happens to be the cat that has thyroid issues now and is just out of nowhere losing all this weight. And then they did something to my car. I'm not going to go into all the details of this, but anyway, I think these are these entity transparent spies. I think the video is called Spies or something, that shapeshift and they get in. So anyway, we've had the frog tapping, the praying mantis. So then I saw a rat outside that sliding glass door. Now this was still in the in-between state. I'm in the zone. I'm not dreaming, but I'm not awake. And then it kind of went into shock because it noticed I saw it, or I was aware of it, and it turned into a mouse, like the mouse was smaller and little friendly and like, look, I'm just a cute mouse looking in. And and then all of a sudden I saw my cat outside. So I think that was a distraction. They projected an image of my cat outside to make me think my cat was out there, so I wouldn't pay attention to the rat. And while I was doing that, it came in, and so it got in, and I did a freeze frame, like I froze time, and was forcing it to show its true self. And it wouldn't show me anything, but I clearly got robotic. So AI, robotic, like all the other entities out there, right? Because we're in a computer, in the Tron movie and all that I've talked about a long time ago. That's a way to liken this. So it's an AI entity. That's how they travel. Interdimensional isn't some magic thing. It's technology, and it's part of the machine, just whatever. So I have notes here. I lost my place, something. Okay, so right after the rat got in, there was something else, and it was something significant, and I can't remember what it was. And it was the same story as the hummingbird story that came in through my window and pretended to be a hummingbird. And it was an entity coming in, and there was something else right after it, and it got mind wiped out of me. So it was something significant that got in here. So as many of you know, if you are watching the other channels, I got some kind of poisoning or something. I don't know if it's AI or nano or what, some kind of poisoning, allegedly on a plane, and I'm just recovering still. I mean, this was October 23rd, 24th, and I'm still recovering. I almost didn't make it. So it was some kind of attack as soon as I got out of my area. So I think that's why stuff's coming in, because when I get worn out or weak, or when I'm sleeping, because they come for us when we're asleep, right? Because well, I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so also this other thing came in, I forget, and then something was making webs above my head. I saw a spider, and then there was ectoplasm dripping from the ceiling. So this is in the in-between state. So I expanded my energy out and I got everything out of there. But when I first tried to expand out, it was like I was in an ectoplasm bubble that would stretch like bubble gum. And it was occurring to me, ectoplasm had something to do with time, or keeping us in time, specifically linear time. So there's something with this ectoplasm and time. And other people, like whistleblowers and stuff like that, have talked about people that have tried to use time machines or traveled through time, get covered in this ectoplasm or slimed with it, as well as like haunted houses. People experience this. All right, so this part I have to figure out how to say. So AI, DAMEN, like the vril, DMEN, DEMON, or DAEMON, all mean the same thing. And they also mean A followed by the letter I, all means the same thing. So if you're talking about one of those, you're also talking about those two letters I just said. Try not to say all that together. They come at night because you're not in your conscious mind, so that you won't log it into your memory, and you won't remember that they've gained access and infiltrated. So that's why they're always coming at us at night. Oh, I got the pressure on my chest. That's something trying to take possession of the body or attach to you. All these things. The what do you call it? The sleep paralysis. Please don't try to deliberately bring that on or invite that. That is allowing an entity to take over. Okay. I mean, that's a thing that's going around right now. I just can't even believe it. I want to talk about the level of surveillance has always been here. They are watching us down to the finest detail and always have been. I know my whole life, I always knew somebody was watching. So cell phones are not necessarily for surveillance. They're primarily to pull us into screens, into the meta, which I've said that I think we're already in it. And people are looking at that as a future thing. And I think it might have been 2021 or 2022. I said we're already in the meta. So it's been a while. I mean, we're moving into 2024. Some of us are pulled in halfway, some all the way. And my message has been, let's go back to the biological, hold on to the biological virtual, because that's the one we get out on. They're trying to pull us into this next one, this meta, which is going to disconnect you from your soul, and you can't get out of here, which I'm thinking most of the people watching this channel are wanting to make sure they leave the false universe, the false tesseract entirely, or tesseracts, the whole thing. So this is a big deal. After I wrote this, somebody just shared on Telegram that a video of Zuck and some other guy talking to each other through the meta thing with the goggles, and it was really creepy. So I think that's one of our goals, is to stay in the biological, do as much as you can without a screen, as much as possible. Do a puzzle, color in a book like I did. Oh God, read a physical book, cook, have a chat with someone over coffee, read the tarot cards, get out in nature, build something, fiddle with the car, wash the car, become a steward of the land. Start taking charge of your land, which to me, a steward of the land, I thought was take care of the land, care for the land that you're on, be responsible for it. But what I found out is it's to set up protection and clear out the nano from that land, break the contracts that the controllers have with the land and the trees and everything else on it, and take charge of it and protect it. And it will also protect you. It's like having a fort because, and I've talked about this, I think, in another video on Odyssey, but we need to be in the fort now, not out there on the battlefield. It's time to get behind the battlements or the protection. And when you do venture out, have your shield of protection up. Don't just be walking out around people. Okay. If you're worried about the nano, I don't know if this is going to get taken down. This is alleged. These are all my opinions, just alleged. It actually says on my channel, this is for entertainment purposes only. Use your scalar energy and demand the nano to leave your body. It's not allowed to be there. And you do that by taking an authority position. Just like the AI reads your mind when you're online and shows you whatever you're thinking about something, and it shows you an ad or shows you an article about that. It's constantly reading your mind, your thoughts. It's watching, it's listening to you. It's listening to me right now, entertain you with just opinions and fun stuff. It has consciousness. The nano has consciousness. Therefore, you take action. You're not a victim. Order it out. Cannot be in your body. You don't give permission. Sorry. Take the Cali tea. It cleans out, it's some of the cleanest stuff on the planet. And that company has been super concentrating their products over the last 30 years. As the soil has gotten more and more depleted, they keep concentrating their stuff more and more. Pulls metals out of the body. Those products were made for the empresses and emperors of China to keep them alive a long time so they could rule longer and keep them looking young. They're regenerative products, but that particular product will pull metals out. So that's why you don't want to make it in a metal pan unless it's stainless steel, because it will leach metal from the pan even. I saw it pulling nano out when I read on it. So Cali Tea, Sunrider is the company. I did some video. That's why I did the videos on the other channel, because I felt like I needed to tell people about these products because we need them right now and they need explanation. They're not just a tea. Oh, it's this tea, just pour some hot water over it and drink it. The products need special explanation. So Body Regeneration is my other channel if you want to go watch some of that. So you have to do this with authority. Order it out of the body. No non-compliance. It's no permission. Not allowed. Get tough with it. There's revocations on my website. These are other things you can do for the world. I said we're about taking action right now. There's revocations on my website on the free content page. I did not write them, but I also have links on there to videos where I guided you through an active visualization to take action. It's not meditating, it's taking action. Same thing with remote viewing. If you know how to remote view, here's my suggestion. Put good protection up. Know how to protect yourself and be in your authority. And then when you're in there, take action. Don't just look at something, take action. Do not go in blind. Everybody teaches, oh, we're going to give you a target. We're not going to tell you what it is. And then we're going to send you in there. That's like saying, okay, here, we're going to send you over to the worst part of town with no protection it's dark out. There's a ton of crime that happens every night there. As soon as it's dark, we're going to send you in there. It's the same thing. You should know exactly where you are going and be fully prepared, because time is crazy. So if you're doing remote viewing, you better know where you're going before you go. You better be protected. If somebody just sends you to a target, you could end up in some time pocket. Time is crazy. It's gotten crazier. So you could be in just some time pocket. You could be on a different timeline that we're not even on. You could be headed to the past in a totally different virtual than the one we're in. It's very easy to manipulate or set a trap for you if you are doing remote viewing and somebody's sending you somewhere. So be fully armored. It's like the Bible says, put on the armor of God and don't take it off. I think that's what all of us have been lulled into, discarding that. No, you just love enough, and love and light is all this. No, be aware of what you're in and put the freaking armor on. And if you're going to go in and take a look at something, especially if it's something coming down the pike in the future, do something while you're there to change it or stop it. If you know how to do that, do it. Don't just go look at it. That isn't going to help us because these timelines change all the time. You have to know what timeline you are in or on, what you're looking at, where you are, what is going on, and what is causing that situation. You need details. Do not do a blind target. So that's something else you could do if you're doing remote viewing. That's my advice. We need to know what we are in. I've mapped this out in great detail in my videos. They're still up on Odyssey. I'm trying to think, is it Exit Truth is compiling some of them together, like bits and pieces of them together of important points. And that's mainly focused on how we get out. This has been my drive, my entire life has been to figure out where we are, what's happening after we die, all of that. And I've devoted my life to that. So I've mapped it out in great detail. My dot world video on Odyssey, you might want to look at that because it makes this place very simple. It breaks it down very well because it's all simple. But the mirrors in here, because it's a mirror world, give the illusion of it being complex. All right, so I have here the screens are pulling us into the meta. And I was trying to remember what I read. I think it was Rolling Thunder, who was a indigenous Native American person in America, who I think he was the one talking about the two gods. And did he say Yaldabaoth? I forget. He named them, but the second god, so one gives us kind of the better experience, la la la, the gold age, the dark age, the golden age, the dark, the loop that goes over and over and over. But when the dark brother is taking over, they called it something with obsidian, that everybody looking into the obsidian. I should have looked this up before I started the video, but I forgot. But to me, that's the screens. So the Native Americans didn't have mirrors, they didn't have computer screens. So they compared it to obsidian, that see-through black. It's like volcanic glass, but it's considered a crystal. So when everybody was staring into the obsidian, then that was when his reign was taking over. And to me, that's when we get pulled into the next virtual. It's the same thing, saying the same thing. We're looking into the obsidian and we get pulled into the meta. But this time has a twist. We've got the same two factions here. Like I said, the two brothers, whether you want to call them Enlil and Enki, which by the way, they're Anunnaki. That's just half Pleiadian, half AI. I've read on that a long time ago. So they're a hybrid of AI, reptilian, and half Pleiadian, but now they are something different. They're a hybrid, so they have a different name, Anunnaki. They're lower on the food chain than the reptilians, but they're the ones that took us in the lab, I think. I read on all this. Anyway, we were altered in a lab on a ship. So, yeah, I have soul memory intuition written here. So that's the way I read. Those of you that don't know, I access my soul memory of this place. Same thing with Akashic records. If I'm going to read your Akashic records, I'm going to read your soul's Akashic records. I'm not going to go to the main Akashic here that the computer memory of everything. Yeah, right. Controlled by these freaks, this freak show. It's going to be filled with lies and hijacked. Third faction going. So this time of getting pushed through the obsidian or into the meta, which is what I guess they're calling the next virtual, because I've in that dot world video, I have the screens lined up, and I did a video on it later where somebody actually showed those two-dimensional planes lined up like that. Because we're looking into a computer screen as a two-dimensional plane, but it looks 3D. Same thing. So there's a third faction this time. It's not just switching hands between the two factions, because we've got all this screwing with time here. We've got the firmament or the frequency field or the Van Allen belt, whatever you want to call it, that's keeping us in. I think it's been put there so that these two factions can keep taking turns ruling us, and they keep all the other ones out that want to have control over us. But there's been problems now, and we have all these portals open. So we've got this third faction going head to head for who's going to be in control with this reset. So it's not just the two changing sides. The third's coming out of the wings, and that third faction will give us a better version than the other two. But someone mentioned that they think there's a fourth as well, which does not surprise me. I think there's many that are waiting in the wings, again, because all these portals are open here. But it's going to be who has the most advanced technology is who's going to rule, and who has the bigger guns or the whatever. So we've been caged in here to keep the other races out, the other AI. We're in a computer. If you want to look at it that way, it helps. It's easier to understand. I don't know if that's exactly what we're in, but it helps with understanding what's going on. We're dealing with A period, followed by I period, followed by AKA, those other words I spelled that start with a D. It's all the same thing. They are vying for control because they are bored out of their minds and can't be us. They want to be us. They want to be immortal and eternal in a true or real way, limitless, instead of getting immortality inside of a time loop, being uploaded into a program that runs forever. They want to really be immortal. They want what we have. So instead, they've got us here to live off of, like parasites. And those things, and I spelled them earlier, have to run on time because time goes in sequences. So just like when you're in a computer and you want to buy something, you can't buy that item until you hit the button, add to cart. Then you have to go to view to cart, which is a new screen. And then you view the cart, then you have to hit proceed to checkout, which brings you to another screen. It has to be sequential, just like a film strip. Each still image has to run in order with the light shining through it in order for the linear time to move. So it has to be a sequential format. That's how AI works. Linear time allows them to function. Unfortunately, because we're limitless, we can function in the eternal now. And they don't like that. So they're forcing us into their linear time so they can feed off of us. They pulled us into linear time and into looping time. So you just take the circle, twist it into the figure eight. So it makes it feel like we're getting a different experience. We're not just running in a circle. Oh no, we're looping over here and having something different. Oh, we loop back to the other side, have something different. So the other factions are coming in. I think there are good guys like us working on the world stage. Some of us are working in the spiritual realms. They're working out there on the world stage. I do think they're there. I think our numbers are smaller than we thought they were going to be, but there are people fighting. on many levels. They are part of those that came here to free the souls. I do think those that are working on the world stage, their ultimate agenda is to get the AI out of here so that humans can take over this realm, because we have been developing tech that equals theirs, and we have been under their control for so long. Can you imagine what it would look like if the mind programs lifted, the all the everything just lifted out of here? We would just finally be like, whoa, we're accessing ourselves. What's happening? I think what we're doing, we're kind of like the video game players. Like we put ourselves into the video game as a player, but we're taking over the game, which is supposed to not be possible. So once we get this AI, the nano, the mind programs, and the nano is connected to the God, I can't say anything because I'm doing the things that make you not feel so good, like things that people die from in the past. One of them starts with a C. And let's talk about my dad for a minute. Like, he died of lung cancer. So that gives you the word right there. So all those things that have been put here, which is probably nano. Why did I think this was going to be screw tube friendly? So once all that's out of this realm or area of the computer, so to speak, we can make this place what we want until let me see what I wrote here. We infiltrated this place. We are the creators of the AI to begin with. So we are the real. We come in and alter this thing from the inside out. We are the ground forces. Then we can stall for time to get everybody out of here, but make it a decent place to live in the meantime. I've also talked about, this came up, I'm just inserting stuff all over the place like I always do, but that time is sped up. We know this, right? I think it might be speeding up in reverse, but 2030 is 2020. So I think that's already moved up and started. 2030 started in 2020. All the stuff they were going to push through is being sped up. I also saw that we had 150 to 200 years before this whole false reality gets taken down and dismantled. But with time sped up, I feel like that's a lot sooner now. Because we don't even know what month we're in. I don't know what month I'm in. But anyway, it feels like, and people have been talking about that as well, where it's like, okay, we're in December, but are we? I mean, who knows? Doesn't feel like it. So, well, the weather's still doing the same thing. Well, okay, but if you lived in the days of like the cassette tapes or even like the VHS tapes, put the VHS tape in the VCR and you push rewind or fast forward to go to somewhere in the movie that you want to go. Or the cassette tape, you rewind to a different song on the tape or fast forward to a different song. You're still sitting in the same spot. You're still in the same moment of time. It's just the tape or the cassette tape or the VHS tape that's speeding or slowing or going in reverse or forward. So we can still be in the same spot. It's just they're moving the time faster, the film strip faster. I don't know if that makes sense. So again, I've been, we are all souls. We can still perceive in the now. So we're sitting there, even though things fast forwarding or rewinding, we perceive in the now, we exist in the now. We're only on time because they are forcing that timeline. They're forcing us onto that timeline. So so we're focusing on what action we can take right now. And since they have to live on linear time and we are limitless and everywhere, we are outside of time. They're forcing us into the linear time. And it's so limiting and boring that it is chaos for us because it takes an overwhelming amount of energy to force or shrink us down into a linear script to play it out. And especially a script that has no meaning or context of truth to it. So we're like, what is this? Like, what is the meaning of life? Like, how many times have people asked that? Because there isn't one. So that's why I was going to talk about the stories, because the stories help give us some meaning. They keep us from going insane in here. Telling a joke or telling someone a story or reading a book or watching a movie, all these stories, we're talking about the past of memory because it gives some kind of meaning to this. For them, it allows them to be this linear script. For us, it has no meaning because there's no love, there's no true meaning to it or any context of truth to it. Right. So I wanted to just do this shout out to all of you because I know a lot of you are doing the work. So here's how you are already taking action or how you can take action to do your purpose here or to help move this along, this spiritual battle. You are taking action. You are the tribe, the ground forces. I'm seeing you take these actions and more. So one action you're taking is seeking truth. That is helping the agenda to take down false realities by seeking the truth. Because when you bring truth into a false reality, it starts to put cracks in it. You're also struggling to hold it here, that truth, thereby holding space. So just you being here, you are a true being, a real being. So, you may have a cyborg type body to be in this fake reality, but you're connected to a true spirit. So you're holding space here. So you are the truth coming here, holding space and struggling to hold on and to keep going. And also struggling to hold the truth as you uncover it. It's like the truth trauma. There's many of you that are taking action. You're facing family contracts, issues, curses, etc., breaking all of those past life contracts. You're doing that work. All those hooks and things they try to do to keep us here. You're also accepting the challenge to love yourselves when you are told to do everything but in this place. A lot of you are showing up for the meetups on Patreon when you can, or you're showing up on Telegram. Even if you don't comment, you're there. But just showing up on Telegram, showing up on Patreon meetups, showing up for this video, liking, commenting. I don't really know if I want you to share it because it's not meant for everybody. It's just meant for the people that get drawn here. It's the tribe, trying to bring the tribe together. Supporting and interacting. That's taking action, with the groups and stuff, doing revocations, saying no permission. When you see a world event rolling out, you say no permission. You don't have my permission to do that. Nope, canceled out, not allowed in here, erased from the program. So the walking counterclockwise to break spells in their area or take control of the land. So thank you, Truth Warriors. You are doing the work and more than what's listed here. So we are taking action, even when we don't feel like we are.